My name is Sophia, and today I want to tell you the story of how I almost walked away from the love that was truly meant for me. A love I didn't expect, a love I didn't trust at first, and a love I didn't think I deserved. But sometimes, life brings someone into your world right when your heart is too tired to believe again. I grew up in Denver. A loud, warm, chaotic home, the kind you miss when you move out. At 25, I fell in love with someone I truly believed I would marry. 4 years together. 4 years of building a future, or at least what I thought was a future. But slowly, without noticing, I began losing myself. He controlled everything. Who I talked to, what I wore, where I went, how long I stayed out. I ignored the red flags because starting over terrified me. I didn't want to admit that the person I loved was the same person who was breaking me. And one night, during a stupid argument, he said, "No one will love you the way I do." I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just felt empty. A week later, I packed a suitcase, got in my car, and left. No goodbye, no closure, just pain. I moved to Portland because I wanted a fresh start. But the truth? You can change cities, you can change apartments, but grief packs itself inside your suitcase and follows you everywhere. My new apartment felt too quiet. Some nights, I cried until I fell asleep. Even eating felt like a task. Talking felt impossible. The only place I felt slightly alive was a small cafe near my building. I'd sit in the corner, headphones on, pretending to read a book I never actually opened. One rainy afternoon, I was leaving the cafe, trying to hold my umbrella, my bag, and my coffee. And of course, everything fell. Coffee everywhere. My day was already terrible, and this felt like the final punch. I muttered, "Great. Just great." And then a voice behind me said, "I'm so sorry, let me help." I turned around and saw him. Tall, wearing glasses, navy jacket, and the kindest eyes I'd seen in a long, long time. He helped me pick up my things and asked, "Can I at least buy you another coffee?" I refused. I didn't trust men. Not anymore. He didn't push. He just smiled and said, "Okay, but let me walk you to the door. You look like today hasn't been very kind to you." His name was Ethan, and that was our very first meeting. The next day, he was there again. Same cafe, same table, same gentle smile. He said, "So, spilled anything today?" And for the first time in months, I actually smiled. Every day after that, we saw each other. Sometimes by accident, sometimes, I think, on purpose. We talked about music, about places we wanted to travel, about little things that didn't hurt to talk about. He didn't flirt. He didn't judge my silence. He didn't ask about my past. He treated me like a normal person, not someone broken. And little by little, I started looking forward to seeing him. One Friday evening, he asked, "Want to take a walk? Just a short one." I hesitated, but something in me said yes. We walked by the river. The city lights reflected on the water. The wind was cold, but somehow I felt warm around him. He talked about his family, his weird fear of birds, the time he got lost in New York, and I laughed. A real laugh, the kind I hadn't heard from myself in a long time. But then he asked, "What made you move to Portland?" My whole body froze. My breathing got heavy. I whispered, "I don't want to talk about it." He didn't push. He didn't apologize. He just said quietly, "Whenever you're ready, I'll listen." That's when I knew. He was different. 2 weeks later, I got a message from my ex. Just one line, "I miss you." My hands started shaking. My chest tightened. I felt like I was drowning. I didn't know who to call until I realized my fingers were already dialing Ethan. He picked up immediately. "Sophia, are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm really not." 10 minutes later, he was at my apartment with food, a blanket, and a box of tissues. He sat on the floor with me while I cried harder than I had in months. He didn't touch me. He didn't say, "You need to move on." He didn't give advice. He just stayed, quiet, gentle, present. And then he whispered, "Whoever hurt you never deserved you." For the first time, I believed it. We saw each other almost every day now. Ethan became the softest part of my life. He taught me how to enjoy silence, how to breathe, how to trust a little again. One night, I asked, "Why are you so kind to me?" He smiled. "Because someone was kind to me once, when I needed it the most." That was the moment I realized I was falling for him. But healing isn't a straight line. Fear came back. I told him, "I think I need some space." He didn't get angry. He didn't argue. He just said, "I won't chase you, but remember, you don't have to heal alone." And those words broke me more than anything else, because I knew the truth. I wasn't scared of him. I was scared of being happy again. 2 days later, I went to the cafe, hoping he'd be there. He wasn't. My heart sank. I waited an hour. Still nothing. When I finally left, I saw him standing outside in the rain. I walked to him and asked, "Why are you here?" He looked at me, soaked, shivering, and said, "Because I knew you'd come back." I started crying. He stepped closer, took my hands gently, and whispered, "Sophia, let me stay. Not to fix you, but to walk with you." And finally, I said the words I was always afraid to say, "Don't leave." He squeezed my hands and smiled. "I won't, not unless you tell me to." Today, Ethan is still with me, not because I needed him, but because he waited until I was ready to love again. He didn't save me. He helped me save myself. And that is my story. The love I almost walked away from until my heart finally realized it was safe to stay.